back. This is episode 3 of Frauds and Fines. So this week we're talking about the Tampa First Lady of Fraud, Rashia Wilson. This story is wild, you guys. So you know me, I love a good fraud story. And of course, I like to talk about what kind of fines people get charged with, and what their charges are, at the very end. So scaling it all the way back, Rashia Wilson, she was born basically she's from like the Tampa area. And they lots of news reports state that her mom was addicted to drugs when she was a baby, and her father was in prison while she was growing up. So basically she came from like a life of poverty to, extreme wealth. I mean, she defrauded the IRS of millions of dollars, guys. She and like a co-conspirator, like one of her friends. So she's been struggling, right? So she's struggling to make ends meet. And then we get to April 2009, right? When she and her friend Maurice Larry, they engage in a scheme to defraud the IRS by negotiating these fraudulent returns. Guys, I do taxes. I'm telling you, don't do it. It does not pay, right? So they would receive the U.S. Treasury checks and prepaid debit cards, right, that were loaded with proceeds derived from filing false and fraudulent federal tax returns in other people's names without the people knowing, right? So they would file these fraudulent returns, and from different locations. They would do it from Rashia's house. They would do it from the guy Larry's house, and they would also do it from like hotels, but they would be like all around like the Tampa area. So they would use the fraudulent tax refund money to buy like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of retail purchases. I mean, Birkin bags, Louis bags, you name it, she had it, right? She even dropped like 30 grand on her daughter's first birthday party. And she purchased like a 2013 Audi valued at like approximately 90 grand. So she was, she was living it up, had a nice house, nice car, they're having parties. But what was the wildest part about this? This girl would go on social media and she would post, that she self-proclaimed, called herself like the queen of tax fraud, right? So this is a post she wrote on social media. She said, and I quote, "I'm Rashia, the queen of IRS tax fraud. I'm a millionaire for the record. So if you think indicting me will be easy, it won't. I promise you. You need more than black and white to hold me down. And that's to the rat who went and told." As if First Lady don't have TPD under her spell. I run Tampa right now. So TPD, Tampa Police Department. So I mean, this was, I guess, back during that time while she was still, out on the streets. Like, she was like posting and pretty much just like taunting the police, saying like, hey, come and get me, and she had photos. Hopefully I'll insert the photo here where she just has like stacks of money. And she's just like, hey, look at me. I'm committing fraud on social media. Haha, you can catch me. So it's wild, you guys. Like, don't do this. Like, it doesn't pay. So get this, right? It's alleged that the police were alerted to the fraud when they noticed a drop in drug dealing in the area. What? So you want to tell me that the police didn't see so-and-so on the corner in his spot, and they don't see no one coming riding up to get their little dime bag? So you want to tell me that tipped them off that something was going on? I don't know if it's true, but okay. So they launched a 2-year investigation. So it was like with Secret Service. Um, it was with the Tampa Police Department. They had the FBI, IRS, criminal agents, you name it. They were part of this investigation, right? Because they were like trying to figure out what's going on with the money. Things aren't going right. So the investigation was called, get this, Operation Rainmaker, right? And it was named in reference to all the money raining down on the suspects' mailboxes. Who knew the police had a sense of humor, okay? So during the course of the investigation, agents searched like Rashia's residence, and Larry had like a storage unit. I mean, come on, buddy. Like, you steal all this money and all you got is a storage unit? But anyway, they recovered like thousands of names with social security numbers in like these huge ledgers and on like various different records. They had like people's medical billing. So they must have been compiling data for a while, because I mean, like, they were just filing tax returns in people's names. And so the agents also found like high-end accessories, jewelry, and there was a handgun in Rashia's house, right? There were reloadable debit cards loaded with the fraudulent refunds. So I mean, this must have been a whole mess, because obviously they're not getting like the cash all at once. So they probably have like piles and piles of these prepaid debit cards. And as a tax preparer, like, those things come in stacks. So if they're just like filing fraudulent returns and they're getting placed on these cards, it must be hard to keep track of everything. So I guess when they raided the place, there was like money everywhere, right? So they found like jewelry, a handgun, and then the reloadable debit cards. And it's really crazy, because even though Rashia was doing like all of this, she was still filing for food stamps. She was like worth millions of dollars and still filing for food stamps. Like, come on, like, how weird is that? So when the investigation was over in April 2013, she pled guilty to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. She admitted to stealing more than $3 million. And at the time, like, the judge agreed to go ahead and settle, but the figure is believed to be much higher, probably around 20 million. And she was sentenced to like 21 years. She has 3 kids. I mean, she was 27 when she got in, so she'll probably be like 48 when she gets out, but her kids will probably be all grown by then. It's so sad. So she was ordered to forfeit over like $2.2 million, which they could trace back to her fraudulent activities. I mean, come on, guys. Like, I know this just seems like not like a real crime, but it is a real crime, because they stole from like real taxpayers, and when the fraud was detected by those taxpayers, they couldn't get their refunds up to like a year or more. So, it doesn't pay to do crime. We get it. She had a hard start, but man, she went on a wild ride, even with the post on social media, the stacks of money. I mean, come on, guys. Don't do it. Well, thank you so much for watching this episode of Fraud and Fines. And of course, new episode will come out every week. No, I don't have a posting schedule. I'm just random like that. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell them to come on and watch. I have some good stories coming up for you. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.